Okay, how do we change the community? First of all, we got to get on the same page. We have to start trusting each other. We have to come together as a team. All the hating, the backstabbing, jealous of this, jealous of that, because one person's up, one person's down, all the downing other people, talking about someone because they're down, or talking about someone because they're up and they're arrogant or whatever. We got to end all that. We have to come together as a team. We have to start trusting each other, believing in each other, helping each other. Where one is lacking, if I have the skills to help that person in the area that they're lacking, I need to help that person. If that person has a skill that can help me where I'm lacking, I need that person needs to help me. We have to come together. It doesn't take a million people to do this at one time. You can start with groups, 5 or 6 people, women and men, coming together with the same mindset, getting on the same page. Now, we just have to look at this thing in reality. Everybody's not going to be on board because everybody is not focused on building communities. Some people will be left behind. Hopefully, once everything is built up, you can pull them and pull them on the board and help them change their lives. But you have to keep in mind that some people will be left behind because it has to be people with the same mindset. We have to get that mindset and start trusting in each other. One of the main things we have to do once we form a group, 5 or 6 people, 8 people, or whatever number you come up with, we have to work on our credit. We have to figure out a way, or start helping each person in the group get their credit together. Somebody in the group may have a 780 credit score. Someone in the group may have a 600. Okay, we got to come together with ideas on how to help this person get his credit up to at least a 780, 760, 750, whatever, high sevens, if not 800. Get that person, everybody in the group, get everybody's credit up to at least 750, 760. We have to get the credit up. Credit is important on making moves in building a community. You need good credit. Credit is something that you need to move ahead in America. As simple as that. So, a person who's lacking in credit, we got to come together and figure out how to get that person's credit up to the standard that you guys set. And that standard should be something that whenever you try to use the credit, it's won't be denied. Get together and form an LLC. Figure out everybody who's going to be on the board or whatever. Just create an LLC legally. Create that. So it's a group, it's a corporation that you guys are operating on. So when moves are made, you're going to need all the signatures who's in the group. So to keep it fair, to keep it legal, to make sure everybody's on the same page and do everything the right way, form an LLC. Once that LLC is formed, then we have to figure out, okay, what are we going to invest in? Is it going to be property? Is it going to be a business? Whatever you guys come up with on investing, figure that out and put it down. And then from that point, we got to say, okay, from A to Z, write down from A to Z the steps on getting that investment, or whatever you guys investing in, property, whatever, the A to Z on the steps you got to take to make this thing happen. Write it down, get it on paper, set the goals. This date, that date, we're going to reach this goal. This date, we're going to reach this goal. That date, we're going to reach this goal. Put it on paper. Okay, once that is done, then financing. Okay, what route are you going to take for financing? Are you guys going to come together? Are we going to come together with our own money? Put it in the pot and figure out what we're going to do with the money. If we got a goal of getting a building, okay, we got to have a down payment. So okay, we know what that number is going to be. So we got to figure out how we're going to have the money. If we going to try to get some type of loans. We're going to get whatever we're going to do. We got to figure out how we're going to do it. Okay, are we going to put our own money up, put the money in the pot, and then to start the process of purchasing a property or getting a business or whatever that number is, figure that out. Okay, just say we don't have the money. Okay, just say, I'm just going to use these numbers for an example. Just say we come up with $5,000 and we need $15,000. Okay, one great idea, I think, or a good idea, it may take a little time, but the 5,000 that we did come up, let's put that money. You put that money in a vehicle uh, that will take you up to the 15. Not a very risky investment, but put it in a vehicle that can take you from the 5,000 to the 15,000. That's just an ideal how to raise the money. We could do it that way. Or if you guys come up with, or you come up with an idea, or you already have the money in hand, there's the money to start the business. Okay, you invest, you buy the property, you start the business, everything's up and running. Okay, now that's running. Now, once you start seeing a cash flow from your investment, the worst thing to do is to take the money, split it up, and you start going off spending it, buying cars or jewelry or clothes or whatever. That's the dumbest thing to do. What you do is, with that money, you take that money and you start another vehicle, you start another investment. If it's another building, if it's a business or whatever it is, you take that money and you invest in another vehicle. The same process you did for the first property, we do it with the second property. We keep building, we keep building. It's all under the corporation. So we have one property, we say we want to start a business now. We start the business, it's under corporation. That's another business or another cash flow that we created. Okay, now that's up and running. The profits of that, what do we do with it? We take that money and we start another business or buy another property or whatever we decide to do. We do it that way. Now we all have to be on the same page as far as, look, we're not taking this money to spend immediately. We're trying to build an empire. We're trying to build a community. We're trying to build something special to grow. Once we start building these different businesses or buying these other properties, we're building in the community. Now we have power, we have cash, we can invest in people in the community. We can help other people in the community. We can help other people start businesses. We can teach other people who form groups exactly what we did. Show them how to do the same thing. We just have to be on the same page. We just have to trust each other. And we just go from one project to the next project to the next project. And before you know it, we built an empire. And we teach others to do the same thing. So you have groups of people building empires. Ownership is important in America. Owning something is important in America. If it's a business, if it's real estate, if it's stocks, whatever it is, owning something is important. That's the key to building wealth. We need to do that as a group. Now, next thing I want to talk about is one of the things that we got to do in the community. One thing that we have to do, that we have to stop doing, is celebrating for nothing. What am I talking about? We get together on a regular basis on the weekends. We get together, someone goes to the liquor store, we buy 1800, we buy this tequila, we buy this cognac, we buy this wine, we buy this, we all bring all this money together and we just drink until we can't even walk. Get up the next day and do the next thing. Okay, you go back to work. In the week we maybe get together, but mostly on the weekend we do this every single weekend. What are we celebrating? Why are we drinking and doing this and just throwing money away? It's only one couple of things that we're accomplishing. First of all, we're getting somebody else rich because we're spending all our money at these liquor stores. Second of all, you're doing nothing but becoming an alcoholic. You're becoming unhealthy. You're destroying yourself. Just constantly drinking, celebrating for nothing. Just celebrating. For what? What are we celebrating? All the money that we spend every weekend, if you tally that number up, every weekend for a year, what would that number be? You'd be surprised how much money that is in the group of guys that you hang out with. The money that was blown on liquor, alcohol, beer, and just celebrating for nothing and destroying yourself at the same time, becoming an alcoholic at the same time. If you tally that money up, there's your investment money right there. The 5 or 6 people that you hang out with every weekend, If you tally that money up that you guys spent on alcohol, some of you guys even use drugs, on drugs. And I tally all that money up, and at the end of the year, how much money is that? You'd be surprised that there's your investment for the first. There's the money investment money for the first investment right there. It's right there. We got to stop making dumb moves and celebrating for nothing. We're celebrating. We every weekend getting together, just doing something for nothing and just blowing money. And there is the investment money right there. So we got to get smarter. We got to start thinking. We got to get smarter. Now, there's going to be some people in the community who will see something coming together. We'll see your group making strides to building something. And I'm talking about the haters. They're going to see this. And trust me, trust and believe, there's going to be a lot of negative talk thrown your guys' way. There's going to be attempts to destroy it. There's going to be attempts to sabotage it. There's going to be attempts maybe even to robbery, thinking that you guys have cash in pocket, but you're making investments. There's going to be something done to try to sabotage it. So my best advice is don't let everybody know about the goal. Only speak to people, like-minded people who are on the same page and who's going in the same direction. You got to let those ideas be shared with those people. Anybody and everybody can't know about the goals, can't know about the dreams, because just like I know, there's a lot of dream snatchers out there. There's a lot of people who don't want to see you prosper. That's in your community, who don't want to see you shine and they're being left behind, not knowing that you're actually building something that can help them shine somewhere down the line. But there's going to be people who are going to try to knock you off your block. There's going to be some stumbling blocks. There's going to be some times where you guys run across some opportunities that, or some situations where you can get funding or whatever, and it's blocked. There's going to be some, maybe even be some properties that you get where you run across some problems. There may even be some businesses that start off slow. There's going to be some stumbling blocks, but you got to stay focused. Got to keep going. Got to keep moving, because the goal is to build communities. Now, here's another thing that I want to touch on that I think is very important. I think that you guys got to be on the same page as far as having some type of spiritual connection, some type of prayer life, some type of connection with a higher power. And the reason I'm saying it is because what that does is it keeps you focused. It gives you guidelines on how you should be living. And when you're living a certain way, you block out, or you block out the chances of some person coming into the circle and damaging it. If everybody in the circle is on the same page, somebody trying to get in and sabotage it, all of you guys gonna see it immediately. That's why I'm saying a spiritual life, because discernment is definitely something that a tool that God gives us that can help us understand and see who's in to block things, who's in to mess things up. You can see it. You can see it immediately, and you'll know. Even when you're doing a business deal, discernment is something that's powerful, because you can see who's really trying to help you and who's really trying to beat you, who's trying to steal your money. And if you're on the same page and all you guys are using discernment, you'll see it right out of the gate. You'll see it. Another thing that I think is very important, I think that mentoring the younger people in the neighborhood. Now, why am I tying mentorship in with building a community, or the things I just talked about? You want to find a group of young people who are not lost, people who are pretty much just on the edge, people who haven't stumbled over into the criminal life, young kids who are still going to school. Get a group of those people and give them ideas. Teach them what you guys are doing at a young age. Teach them when they're young, 15, 16 years old, where they can kind of understand what you're talking about. Teach them about credit. Teach them about the circle that they have, putting the right people in their circle. Teach them about getting information on how to build a business. Teach them on information about a spiritual life. Teach them on information about uh, building a LLC, or teach them on getting out and getting mentors who know about the things that they want to get involved in. Very important on building a community. How can you build a community and you don't help the youth? The youth are the next generation that's coming up. That's who's going to keep what you build, keep it going, who's going to keep and expand it even more. Look, I'm a strong believer in the youth, because I believe a lot of the youth are fearless, and technology has taken them to the next level. I know social media and different platforms have shown the youth is being wild and crazy. I know that's not all the youth. You have some bright, innovative young people that are going to take this world and take it to the next level. We got to grab our youth in our communities and do the same thing and give them the avenues, give them the roadmap on how to start at a young age, not when they're 35 and 40, at 15, 16 years old, where they know to start moving forward. And by the time they're in the mid-20s, you can possibly have created millionaires with the information that you would share with them. Building the youth is very, very important on building a community. Building a community will definitely take everyone in the community's lives to the next level. I mean, you're creating different businesses you in the neighborhood. So what are you doing? You're creating employment opportunities. People need jobs. A lot of people that come out of the prison system, most of the time when they go back, because they don't have any avenues, nobody's giving them any avenues on how to get income. Nobody's teaching them how to start a business. Nobody's teaching them or showing them the right direction to go and how to get their credit right. Nobody's showing them anything. So what do? They rely on the street tactics that they use to get them in prison from the start. And what is it going to do? Lead them back into jail, give them more time, and pretty much their life is wiped out at that time. By that time, because you end up, you're 40, 50 years old, you spent most of your life in prison. What's the chances of you being successful in this world right now? Slim to none. Let's come together in the community. Let's start thinking. I'm not telling you that you can't celebrate. Let's celebrate when we have achieved something. Let's celebrate when we built a business. Let's celebrate when we bought another property. Let's celebrate when we taught a young kid on how to start a business. Now, when I say celebrate, I'm not saying we got to go buy 10, 15 bottles of Patron, sit up and get smashed, drunk, and and no, we're not trying to destroy our bodies. We're trying to just celebrate a victory. That's it, and move forward. Let's start thinking. Let's build a community the right way. And if we do this, you'll be surprised. We can do some huge things. We can really build a community and help a lot of people. We won't have to rely on somebody with our hands out saying, man, give us this, give us that. No, go out and get your own. That's what it's about. Every other community is doing it. Every community is doing it. We got to build our own and move forward. Have a blessed one.